Let's talk about what you need to ask your potential clients during a discovery call. Hey guys, welcome back to the Social Media Manager Bible podcast. My name is Amabalaji Ajibare. I am the social media ogre and I'm all about teaching anyone who cares to listen how to use social media the right way. Discovery calls are calls you have with potential clients before you start working with them. A lot of social media managers don't even know that they need to have discovery calls before they say, okay, I am ready to work with you. A discovery call helps you understand, or it's your first formal interaction with a potential client. You need to ask them some specific question before you decide to move forward with this particular client. A lot of you have bad relationship or bad experiences with clients because you skipped the discovery call stage. In this podcast episode, I am going to be telling you some questions, some very, very important questions, or some things you need to do, or things you need to ask during a discovery call before you agree to start working with a client. If you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you have any questions. If you're listening to me on any of the podcast platforms, if you're listening to me on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and whatever podcast platform exists, don't forget to rate this podcast. Don't forget to follow, and you can leave questions on Spotify also if you have any. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand their business. Now, you want to start by getting a clear picture of this potential client's business, their values, who their target audience are, and this will help you tailor your proposals to actually fit their specific needs. You need to ask them questions like, tell me more about your business and what you do. This question allows the client to share a broad overview of their business. You will get insight into what their products are or what their services are like, the industries that they operate in, and the overall purpose of their brand. You need to also ask them questions like, what makes your business unique? This will help you understand what their USP is. That's their unique selling point. And this is essential for crafting the social media content that actually differentiates them from their competitors. You also need to ask them who their target audience is. When you ask a lot of clients this question, you will realize that most of them don't even know who their target audience are. Because if the client understands who their target audience are, they won't just be creating content for creating sake. You also need to ask them, what is the current state of your social media presence? This will help you gauge if they're already active on social media, what platforms they use, and how they feel about their current performance. This provides you a starting point to assess what their needs will be. The second thing you want to do is you want to identify what their goals are. You want to ask them what their goals and objectives are. You need to know what they hope to achieve, if it is realistic, because a lot of them have unrealistic goals and objectives. You want to ask them questions like, what are the main goals for social media? Because their common goals should basically include brand awareness, lead generation, website clicks, building customer service, not we want to go viral, or we want to hit 10,000 subscribers or 10,000 followers before so and so time. This will help you judge if this person actually understands what social media management is and does not need a magic shell. You also want to ask them questions like, what does success look like for you? This question will help you know what their expectations of you are and what kind of KPIs are. And it will help you know if their KPIs are things that you are able to meet. You want to also ask them questions like, are there any specific metrics or KPIs that you're focusing on? It will help you know if they're just focusing on likes, comments, and shares. If they don't care about the reach, the impressions, the engagement rate, this will help you decide if you want to proceed with that potential client. Number 3, you want to assess their current challenges. Now, when you understand what your client's pain points are, it gives you the opportunity to position yourself as the expert or as the solution to their problems. If you don't understand what their pain points are, you cannot solve their problems. You need to ask questions like, what are the challenges that you're currently facing with your social media right now? This question will help you uncover issues like maybe if they have low engagement, maybe they lack content consistency, maybe they have difficulties in growing their followers, and so on and so forth. Ask them questions like, Have you worked with a social media manager or agency before? Because you want to know if they worked with somebody before. Maybe the social media manager they worked with or the social media poster they worked with before bought a lot of followers for them and ruined their account. This will help you avoid potential pitfalls and deliver a better client experience with them. If they haven't worked with any social media manager before, it's a good opportunity to set clear expectations and realistic ones. You also want to ask them questions like, are there any particular platforms that you are struggling with? It will help you know and understand where they need more assistance. If they are struggling with TikTok, if they are struggling with Facebook, it will help you know what platforms that they need more assistance on and which one is their primary platforms and which one is their secondary platforms. Number 4, you want to ask them questions that covers their content and their branding preferences. As a social media manager, your content strategy should align with the client's brand voice and their visual identity. You want to ask these questions because it will ensure that the content that you create resonates with their target audience and also reflects the brand accurately. You want to ask them questions like, what is your brand voice? A lot of them might not have answers for you, but you need to ask them, what is your brand voice and how would you like to come across on social media? This will help you understand the tone and the personality that they want to showcase to their target audience. You want to ask them if they have any branding guidelines or visual preferences that you need to follow. Maybe they've created one so that you don't go and waste your time and create something new or something fresh that they would say, oh, I'm sorry, this is now we used to do things. We used to do things this way. You also want to ask them what type of content has worked on their platforms before in the past. They should be able to give you, oh, this kind of content does well on our pages. You also want to ask them if there are any type of content you should avoid, so you know what trends to jump on and what trends not to involve the brand in. Number 5, you want to make sure that you clarify the expectations and your scope of work. You need to define your scope of work as a social media manager during the discovery call and ensure that both you and the client have aligned on their expectations. Because if both of you are not aligned on the expectations, it will lead to dissatisfaction on both sides. So make sure that there is a clear communication from the discovery call. You want to ask questions like, what specific service are you looking for? How often would you like your content to be posted? What are your expectations in terms of engagement and community management? Do you have any upcoming campaigns, any product launches, or any events I should be aware of? These are questions that will determine how you are even going to structure your proposals, because you shouldn't send your proposals before a discovery call. You should send it after your discovery call. Budget and timeline. I have said it time and time and time again. Talking about money may feel uncomfortable, but you should start the conversation from the discovery call. You need to know what your client's budget are. Nobody will go to market and say they don't have a budget. Everybody always has a budget. This budget will help you gauge whether their expectations are realistic or not, whether they are achievable for you or not. You need to ask them, what is your budget for social media management? You need to ask them, are there any budget constraints that I should be aware of for any campaign or something like that? And also ask them, when would you like to start? Do you have a specific timeline in mind for achieving these goals? Some of them might think that, oh, when you start immediately, they will start growing followers. There's going to be a video or a podcast episode where I'm going to talk about why you should sign only 3 months retainers with clients, or why you should tell clients that it will take 3 months for them to start seeing results when they start working with you as a social media manager. So look forward to that. Another thing you want to ask them is, I know you guys must be thinking these questions are too much. See, it is very important you cover your bases. And that's why most people charge for discovery calls. But if you're somebody that's just starting, you might not want to charge. But me, I charge for discovery calls because you're paying for my time, actually. You're actually paying for my time. So you want to ask them who are their main competitors and if they admire the social media presence of any specific companies, whether they're competitors or in different industries. Another thing I can guide you if you feel like these questions are a lot is you can send some of these questions ahead so that they prepare to answer these questions on the call. It's always very good. You can send some of these questions ahead. You also want to ask them if there are any legal or compliance issues that you need to be aware of in their industry. So if you're working in some certain industry, there are some very legal issues or compliance issues for certain niches. So you need to ask them which ones you should be aware of because you might not know. At the end of every discovery call, you will want to lay out what the next steps are. After you've asked them all these plenty questions, Ask them again, is there anything else I should know that we haven't covered? Because I'm not sure you can cover everything. This will give the client an opportunity to bring up any concern that they have, or maybe any additional information that you might not have asked them during the discovery call. Also, ask them, what's the next step in your decision making process? This will help you understand how soon they plan to make a decision. After you've told them this is also, please try as much as possible. Try as much as possible not to give a price over the call during a discovery call. I always tell people, do a discovery call where you can record it, maybe on Zoom, Google Meet if you can, if you pay for Google Workspace, where you can go back, watch it again, and tell them, I'll send you a proposal between 48 to 72 hours. Take your time, watch it, then adjust your pricing, because based on what a client wants, your price is going to vary. So you need to adjust your pricing. It might be slightly higher than what you normally charge based on what they're looking for. So ask them after that, you will get back to them and ask them that, oh, what's the next step in your decision making process? And this will help you understand how soon they plan to make a decision, and if there are any additional steps that you need to take. Because some clients will be like, they've hopped on a discovery call with you, they've seen everything, they want to say, can I still see your portfolio to see if you have worked? Some of them need a lot of time to actually make a decision. Maybe they need you to send the proposal, but always let them know that you send the proposal and your pricing portfolio that will outline what it is that you have covered during the discovery call. What makes a successful discovery call? When you ask the right question that helps you understand the client's business, their goals, their challenges, and their expectation. When you cover all these areas, you will not only gather information about what it is that you need to develop, or maybe what you need to develop an effective strategy, but it will make sure that you are charging the right amount as a social media manager. That means you are happy if you are making enough money that covers the effort that you are giving this particular client. If you're someone that struggles with asking the right questions during a discovery call, I have created a discovery call script. Make sure to check it out. You have to buy it. There's a link to the description below. Make sure to check it out. And if you want to get the toolkit that has all the templates you need to succeed as a social media manager, I have also linked that in the description below. You can purchase the entire toolkit, or you can purchase just the discovery call script. I hope you found this podcast episode helpful. If you did, don't forget to rate this podcast. Don't forget to follow. And if you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share it with somebody that needs to see this. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.